Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to From the Depths with me, Lathrix, and of course, welcome to the first video on the channel in 2018. I hope everyone has had a fantastic holiday season, but now, it's time to get back to our standard fare, and back into From the Depths. So today, what I really want to do is finally finish the helicopter, and then get straight back into the campaign, perhaps sending a swarm of helicopters against the Dustwind Gypsies, or perhaps even against the Lightning Hoods. So all we really need to do is two things. First of all, I want to make the copter a little bit cheaper. It's going to be a very aggressive, very frail flyer, and I've come to accept that. We can actually scale back a little bit on the armor, especially on the inside, where there is even a little bit of heavy armor protecting some of the ammo. In all of the tests I've done, it just doesn't matter. When you have only one layer or two layer of metal, it just really doesn't matter what quality the armor is, except for against the very weakest of the weak, which could be the Dustwind Gypsies, but that's kind of it. So I think I will leave some of the armor, but maybe half of it is either going to be removed or downgraded to regular metal or simply wood armor or something like that. The second thing we need to do is make variants of the helicopter. So we have the regular version, version A, and then B, C, D, E, exactly how we did with the Seekers. This way, each of the helicopters will go at slightly different altitudes, and they will all have slightly different patterns in terms of their movement. First of all, making them way harder to hit in a cluster, and most importantly, stopping them from ramming into each other during a fight, because they're meant to be a swarm. They cost only 3,500 resources at the moment, and for their resources they can kill even the minigun tank. They are pure aggression, and, well, that will be kind of undermined by them taking out that aggression on each other. Now, wouldn't it? Beautiful. Now, we did do something similar to this in the previous video where we made the helicopters, but let's just see if it works a little bit better now. Will they actually dodge each other, is the question. Begin! Well, they all did the dive they're meant to do at the start, and it looks like they are all gaining altitude in sync, which is what you'd expect. But the thing is, I want them to eventually stick to a certain altitude within an error range of about 20 meters, which looks like they are trying to do. You're staying down there, and you are trying to stay there. That is exactly what I wanted to see. That is actually quite a lot of damage, although I do think I need to slightly change the missiles up. Yep, they are working exactly as I intended, which makes me very happy indeed. It's a rare moment. All I need to do now is make sure they go at different distances away from the enemy. This way, they're not always going to be moving away from the enemy at the same time and then turning at the same time, and so on and so forth, because that's just a recipe for disaster. And amazingly, everything you see here is still cheaper than a tank. At least one of my tanks. Here we are then, back in the campaign. So, what do we need to do first? Well, I think first of all, we need to figure out a way to make it a little bit less harsh with how often we're being attacked. Because right now, it's definitely far too often. We're being attacked too often and we are losing resources because of it. Even though we have won every fight we've been in so far, we've also lost resources almost every single fight we've been in so far, and it's really hindering us. The enemies are attacking us very quickly, so what we need to do is take over the economy of the enemy. I believe this slows down the spawn rate of the enemy faction, but most importantly, it gives us more money per minute, and more money per minute means more vehicles per minute, which means a much happier me. And let's face it, my happiness here is paramount. Now let's have a quick look-see. That land rig, is it out of fuel? Yes it is, so I need to fix that. I'm tempted to give them a refinery. The problem is, the refinery itself is fairly expensive, and I could just do this. Is this efficient? No. Does this last absolutely ages? Yes. So not exactly a permanent solution. What I really should do is get the Dauntless here to give resources to the land rigs. Actually, why haven't I been doing that? That is such a simple solution. Okay then, let's make sure to give fuel to the land rigs, eh? Already? Really? Okay, so there's a full fleet of Gothas, or at least a squadron of Gothas. There's 4 Gothas. The Gothas so far have actually been not overly scary, so I'm okay with that. I'm okay with their existence heading towards us, but it just shows how relentless the attacks have been so far. Thankfully, we do currently have the tanks here in defense, so we should win. Every time we have fought the Gothas so far with the tanks, we have been massively successful. So let's just hope that once again rings true. That's a low shot. Oh, that's why the Gothas are spawning on the ground. I don't know why they're doing this, but I really shouldn't complain too much. The shell they're just missing from the regular tank. The minigun shell's doing quite a bit of work versus at least 2 of them. And now focusing on a single, and down goes the first Gotha. Well, actually, no, it doesn't. Just very badly damaged. You're happily firing at that one, and there we go, an actual hit from the 250mm shell, and, well, that's... Thank you for hurting each other. Very kind of you. That's just one minigun shooting there, and it is definitely getting the job done pretty quickly. The Gothas are on the verge of being too armored for this weapon to be effective, but yeah, they still get the job done pretty well. And the detection system changes are definitely working. So there we go. One Gotha definitely down, the other Gotha is down as well, so there's only 2 left actually airborne. A bit of a duel going on over here between one of the tanks and the Gotha. The tank actually looks like it might be in a little bit of trouble there, but I think it's okay. Yeah, it stopped firing. Oh, no, no, it is firing. Never mind, it was just too high up. And down goes the Gotha. Only 1 remains. Not exactly the best showing from the tanks there, but I think the problem is they wasn't actually properly reloaded. Especially the miniguns. They just seem to not be firing anywhere near as fast as they normally do. Normally it's almost 1,000 rounds per minute. Actually, no. It's 300, 300, 300, 300. It's over 1,000 rounds per minute, doing some basic quick math there. And, well, that was nowhere near that. They do look weird, don't they? Now, to do what I was meant to be doing, which is making sure that resources are being transferred correctly and starting to make our flyers. Now, are you our satellite? Oh, for the love of the dark ones. Oh, for the love of the ones who are dark. That is not pleasant. What's next? Okay, a single copper... What? A single copper... Oh my god, that is not a single copperhead. Stop attacking me! At this point, I'm really glad that I put some serious effort into these tanks, because this is getting a little bit on the ridiculous side now. So I'm just glad they are just as reliable as they are. Are you the 250? So, no, you're the 36, so you're the 250 variant, so you go over there. It looks like they're all going to spawn in on the same location. I think we're about to see a lot of lag and explosions. Pause time, let's see if my prediction rings true. Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh, from the depths. I love you, but stop. We're not even firing, I think they're all dead. And they're flying. I don't know how they're flying. But they're flying. Oh, that laugh hurt my throat. I've got a bit of a bad throat at the moment, so my laugh is really messed up. It's like quiet, and then it peaks out of nowhere and hurts itself. Well then. Oh, look at all those lovely 2 and 3 materials we can get. Well, that's impressive, isn't it? Dauntless, where are you? How much resource do you have? Quite a bit, actually. I think we can make almost a full swarm at this point. Let's remove that skimmer, and we are going to remove all these drones once they get back home. What vehicle is that? Is that a satellite? Vehicle, you know what? I'd rather you die and just be able to see the enemy coming from a little bit further away. Sounds cruel, I admit, but I think that's just the way of the world. Okay, so let's jump on over to here. There we are. And let's spawn in one of each of the copters. So it turns out I was a little bit wrong earlier. The full set of copters, A, B, C, D, E, and F, are a little bit more expensive than one tank when you add them all together. I don't know why, I just thought that would be important to correct. Either way, though, the next attack coming against us is a Sand Raider, and a Sidewinder, but they are very, very slow. So what we're going to do is allow them to head towards the tanks will be fully reloaded and repaired, they will butcher those, to be perfectly honest, and then we can take over this tile, which will slow down the enemy advances, and then we're going to try and just take as many tiles as we can with the strike force that are the copters. The tanks, at the moment, need to remain at the base to protect the entire area. They're like the only vehicles which are actually good enough to do that. Now, if I destroy you, and I destroy you, then the rest of the drones will be at full health. Which means they can move, yeah, more than 3 meters per second. Now it's 25. That's a pretty good improvement. So I've been thinking, I think the last time we're going to use this tank base will be for a very simple missile variant. After that, I need to make a new base vehicle, because otherwise I'm going to be a little bit bored seeing the same tank over and over. Although, it is definitely the best tank I've built in terms of cost efficiency. It's only 19,000, but this thing can take so much damage and it houses enough space for a decent weapon. For me, that's pretty good. I've definitely seen a lot better tanks out there, but for its cost and its size, I am really happy with this base vehicle. The problem is, once you become too happy with something like that, you simply stop building other things, and then you kind of get stagnant with your designs, and then that's just boring for everyone. I am really not the smartest person in the world, am I? Somehow, this managed to escape my notice until just now. The minigun tank had the required accuracy way too high. That is not great. The lower the number here, the more accurate the weapon needs to be to actually start firing. This normally means the first few shots will miss if this is too high, because it will fire before actually aiming at the target. This can be good with some types of very inaccurate minigun build, but with ours, it really isn't too good. Also, I changed the max fire rate a while back, so actually it's 600, 600, 600, 600. I forgot about all of that over the holiday season, apparently. This is why I can't be an engineer. Yet somehow I was a car mechanic. What are you doing there? Are you trying to reinforce that tile? Because it's already at 100, but that has been changed, hasn't it? The maximum per tile, but that was only in the Nita campaign, I think. You know what? Now I've said that, I could be completely wrong. The copters are almost done at least. I haven't been fast-forwarding time right now, just because I want to see what's going on so I can plan ahead, so for once I'm just sitting here at normal time. This is going to be really, really annoying, isn't it? Going to be attacked by you, then going to be attacked by you. Okay, what I'm going to do is kill all the drones off now. Just remove them from existence and use that resource to instantly create the copters. Then they can reinforce with the tanks. That way we have 3 tanks and 6 copters. We also have 1 damaged skimmer. I mean, we can throw it at the enemy. Still want that resource tile, though. Plans and schemes. Well, that's bad. Okay, so change of plan. Everyone go back there. They are instantly attacking. I thought I'd have a bit of a break. Also, all of you should really just be 1 fleet. There we go. That makes life easier for me. 56 meters per second. Yep, that's about right for the copters. We will be able to hold them off for a little bit. What I could do is force them into combat with the satellite. That would give us an extra minute. I would lose the satellite, but the satellite costs absolutely nothing. It's actually less than 1,000, so that's absolutely fine to lose. Just to make sure the copters and the tanks will actually be in a position to fight. Don't really want to lose the land rig again, especially since it is actually holding resources right now. So it's the land rig's cost, which is about 1,500 odd, and then 1,000 resources on top of that. Though I think we might be able to get there in time, actually. That is, if the tanks weren't going at silly slow mode, because I am stupid and forget to save things. The Copters are actually saved correctly, by the way. One of the first times I've done that in a while. Oh, look at how fast the tank is. It can move. Full stop. That's pretty much the height of the compliment. Still love watching tanks move in this game, though. There's something very satisfying about watching something you've created actually do the job you want it to. Honestly, I think it's that feeling which keeps on bringing me back to these types of games. Okay, good. The Copters have got there at least. Yeah, the Copters there. We get it. Well, we managed to actually make it in time. That is lovely. So, land rig, you can go away. Don't really want you in the battle. Neither do I want the satellite. Now we're already here. Okay. One thing I do want to look at, though, is this terrain. Oh, God, that terrain's horrible. So I want the tanks really on this plateau. Then the Copters, they can go anywhere. Because they don't go off the distance from the water, which is still actually underneath the ground, just so the game runs properly. They go off the distance from the land, because I finally set that up correctly. It means they can just fly above this as if it's normal terrain, so that's absolutely fine. So I probably want, then, is a bit of a flank. I want the Copters coming in from this angle to begin with, then the tanks on that plateau, and that will give us the maximum chance of the enemy splitting up and hopefully us doing some proper damage there. Tanks, so let's just make sure that's in a good position. No, it's not. I want you a little bit further forwards. So like there, maybe? That's better. Yeah, that'll be absolutely fine. Then you can do the same over here. Okay, yeah, that should be absolutely fine as well. Some of you are a bit too low, though. Let's just make sure all the Copters are in the actual height they're meant to be. It also means they're instantly starting off at their normal height, their settings height, which is pretty good. Then finally, the Hesh tank. Are you going to go here? Yes, you are. That's absolutely fine. So, tanks will go there. Copters come in from the west, from the north, I should say, and the land rig can go away. Goodbye. They still look a little bit low, to be perfectly honest. Not you, I mean the Copters. Well, either way, even if they do spawn in a little bit low, as long as they're not hitting the grove, this one actually may, because as you know, they do a bit of a dive once they first start their combat, and that's because their AI tries to take over one of these settings, one of the systems, which then instantly gets countered. So you two might actually be in for a bit of trouble. So I think we might need to spawn them a little bit further back than I originally intended, just to make sure it's okay. The problem is, the altitude, their max altitude currently, isn't taking into account the land. That's why it looks like they're so low. Once they're actually in the battle, the AI will take over and then go, oh, this is the ground, not this. So imagine all of this land now, and actually the height is pretty normal. Okay, I've waffled on far too much. Let's do a battle. And so, the battle begins. And is that a particle cannon shot? Yes, it is, thankfully missing. Our tank is aiming at that little guy at the back, maybe? Well, it is meant to be anti-light armor, so what do you expect? You're already firing. That railgun will be against us very, very soon. Which one of you is the Zeus, anyway? That's the one with the particle cannon, right? I'm so glad that missed. Particle cannons in this campaign are difficult to make because of the limit, but they're so strong if you can use them. Okay, good, the Copters aren't firing it, which is, I'm thinking that is because of damage, you're now an aircraft. Well, good start for us. The minigun's doing their job, killing the smaller target straight away. The tank has fired. Hopefully that will land. The Copters won't fire until they're within about 600 meters, so there we go. One's firing now. One Hesh shell hitting, two Hesh... Okay, still just one. Oh, no, there's another hit. Incoming the missile swarm from the Copters. Just about in range. Sadly, some of the missiles went for the longest range target, which caused problems. Copter volley inbound. And a bit of a poor showing there. Oh, but that was lovely. The missile's crushing that target. Okay, the EMP has taken down this tank's ability to move, it seems. Ooh. And a lot of its outside armor just got kind of melted off there. Copter, thank you for not being hit. Their attack runs over, so now they're moving off. The Hesh shells are just crushing whatever they hit. And you're basically shooting a rock. Well done. The Hesh is having a hard time hitting that target. It really is a matter of when it hits, it's crushing, but against faster targets, it's not so great. Come on, kill it already. The Copters all ganging up on one target, and there it goes. Lovely. You two are way too close to each other. Why is that? Well, you haven't crashed yet, but you're bloody close to it. There we go, and now you have crashed. I wonder why that is. I did quite a bit of testing, even on hilly terrain, and that didn't happen. I am very curious. Well, we lost one Copter to an explosion, another one's been damaged, and one of the tanks got a bit of damage because of the EMP, but still pretty good overall. Okay, Copters, go and play on your own versus the Dustwind. I want to see what was going on there. My only theory is that because they all started so low, they were all trying to raise in altitude, so they raised sort of together. Because when I did tests in the sandbox mode, even over these very hills, they didn't have that problem. But in that mode, they were already at their correct altitude, so they didn't have the problem. They just stayed at the correct altitude because they didn't have to reach it. What I'm thinking is, I spawned them in at such bad altitudes that some of them had to go past each other, so some which were trying to go down were higher up than some which were trying to get up, thus causing the collision anyway. Still better than the drones, though. The drones were a special case when it came to colliding with everything in sight. And now, as you can see, they actually have different maximum altitudes. I really need to try and remember which one has which altitude so I can just spawn it incorrectly. A should be the lowest, at just over 100. Then B should be at 150, and so on and so forth. Well, let's see how they do. If they can defeat these enemies, then they are definitely worth their cost, which is the important part. One of the enemies seems to have spawned in weirdly, but the land was definitely not a problem, so nothing I could have really done there. Not the most accurate of swarms, but either way, one enemy instantly destroyed the smaller target, and one of the raiders is also looking pretty bad. Now, these missiles do sacrifice a lot of agility and distance for their double warhead. That's why they look a bit like that. You see? Now they're working okay. Although, actually, this is a bit of a problem, because they want to go above the target before they move away. Now, thankfully, there is a time limit to that, so they wouldn't have been there forever. Yeah, that worked just fine. And look, they're all synced up. Ain't it pretty? Okay, so that's fine. I guess another reason why they would have crashed is because of the variable terrain height. That means as they go over it, they're going to go up and down based on how high the land is underneath them. Hello, please stop doing that, thank you. Either way, though, very, very happy with how that worked. I did also give them some repair bots, well, actually one repair bot each. Wow, an amazing maybe 1% health per I don't even know how long. But it does mean they can repair outside of battle. Now, what are you? Just copperheads. Oh, not again. If I had saved the game after that last fight, I would have just reloaded that save. Oh no, it's not just copperheads. But the copperheads were there and they did spawn into this guy, which resulted in... Really? Only one Copter's missiles actually killed that. You guys are going to be so good versus the Dustwind Gypsies. Let's carry on then. Let's see if we can take a couple of tiles whilst the tanks just kind of stay here. And the next fight is apparently Copperheads. I have reloaded this fight 3 times to see if I can cause something else to spawn in, but no, it's just not happening. I don't even know why I'm doing this, honestly, since we know what's going to happen. They're all going to spawn in together, they will detonate, it will be kind of horrible for them and boring for us. Yep, there they are. Before I could even zoom in. But we got to fire anyway, and isn't that the most important part? I love how missiles bounce off ground in this game. Now, where is the satellite? I think I'm going to make a second satellite very quickly. There we are, split them up. New one, go over there to get repaired. You can stay there. Oh, yeah, one of the tanks has a single repair tentacle, or at least a couple of repair tentacles. So you can move over there. Right now, the Copters are going in very blind. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. Oh, this isn't going to be good, is it? A tremor and one of you. Oh, Lord. Well, I don't even know what to say here. This is going to be awful. This is going to be truly awful. Still, we're only losing like 24,000 resources if we lose everything, so it is what it is. It is what it is. You know, I feel a bit outmatched here, honestly. There's a certain feeling here that we're going to die horribly, but let's try and take out as many of those who are against us before we succumb to their firepower, eh? Nice bounce, by the way. That's pretty stylish. Lots of Copperheads. You apparently sat on a Copperhead, and you are a cannon fortress. I didn't realise there was a cannon fortress as well. This on its own is almost as expensive as all of our Copters combined. This could buy almost, actually no, not almost, way over 20 Copters by itself. Just kill something cool, please. That's all I want to see. I've spawned in a lot closer than usual because I know we're going to die, because almost everything here has missiles, which will catch up with the Copters. So if we can at least all fire one full set of missiles, we might be able to take down one large enemy. Begin. Okay, our shields are being activated a lot from some advanced cannon fire. And missiles are landing, and yes! Okay, one huge explosion versus you. That was actually really good. The cannon fortress there being melted a little bit. And it looks like there's been some internal damage on you. Oh, behold the power of Strike Force Copters. It really does seem like, against wooden armor, especially one stacked only one thick, double warhead missiles are still really, really powerful. But against metal and above, less so. Oh, that looks bad. That looks really bad. Okay, one Copter's just taken a lot of damage there. Oh, cram cannon shot almost hitting a Copter. Thankfully, just dodging. Those shots are missing perfectly. Thank you, enemy. They're doing exactly what I wanted them to do. Being able to dodge the enemy and not sticking with each other, so it's hard to hit multiple. Okay, one Copter just lost its ammo reserve. I saw that happen. Okay, one Copter completely down. Looks like they are being weathered away at this point. The Copperheads have all... Actually, no, there's still quite a few left. It looks like the main thing we've done is take out the cannon tower. Oh, yep, there goes the back ammo. Oh, there's the other one. Thank you, front shield. Don't hit, don't hit. good. Oh, bad. I don't know what happened there. Just an explosion. Oh, you've lost your ability to turn, haven't you? Yep, you're flying. Yeah, by the way, these things can fly without their back. They just can't turn. They can turn. How are you turning? Oh, you lost some thrusters. I was going to say, that's impossible. Stop focusing on the tower. The tower is worthless. It's pretty much dead. Okay, and another copter is now out of the sky. I think this is the only one currently still doing its job. Yeah, it looks like it. A couple are at decent health. Just taken out, maybe? Come on. Yeah, that's it. Just keep dodging. And as long as you shoot one missile every now and again, and it actually hits the target, you're still weathering them away. Is this the one I'm in? Aha, so I'm healing this one. Take that. Yeah, those shells do not do well against these copters. Which is great for me. Oh, bad, bad. Also bad. Oh, there we go. Abandon copter. Oh, didn't abandon it fast enough. What? Where are you? Okay, this guy's gone out of bounds. His turning ability is gone, so I think it's about time we surrender, otherwise this is going to cause some serious problems. Where even are they? It's hard to pinpoint one to click on to actually jump to, thank you. Yeah, that was it. You know what, though? You know what? That was really good. We lost, but look at the damage we did. Oh, wait, no, this opens up anyway. Oh, I thought that was so much better. Either way, though, we did take out the cannon tower. It looks like we've taken out a lot of the copperheads. We've done some damage to one of the large vehicles. Looks like, yeah, we broke through and then broke down some of its engines or something because that explosion was fierce. Any weapons knocked out? Not sure. Yeah, definitely weakened these by the looks of things. So a little bit of damage done there. I am actually really impressed by that showing. They took damage way better than I expected, like massively better than I expected. And their initial attack, that Alpha Strike, is actually really nasty. Especially against wooden targets, but against metalled up opponents like this, which looks like it's wood, but actually, this is heavy armor, this is metal, a lot less so. They do their job well, and that's the important thing. I'm going to surrender now, because otherwise this will last forever. And so that was that. We lost the copters, but we took out 2 tiles and massively hindered their area over here, which means hopefully next episode we can come on over here and take over that resource zone as soon as possible. And by the way, this is where that copter managed to die. Yep, it got all the way over there. So with that, I'm afraid I really am all out of time for today's episode, but if you have enjoyed, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff, helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that From the Depths is a series you wish to see continued in the future. Hopefully we will be back to a normal recording schedule now, so expect way more videos than in the last few weeks. Thank you so much for watching. I had a lot of fun today, and goodbye.